we finally finish up the first day of the Friendship Cup, and we get to see pretty much none of the duel between, like, Serena and that irrelevant fucker Tony. I mean, it was, like, literally, I'd like to say it was, like, either just a minute or two, and it was, like, we saw a new monster from, like, Serena just showing, hey, we got to see, you know, like, a new, like, moonlight cat. We got to see, like, Panther Dancer, which is, like, 2800 attack point monster that can attack every monster twice. Gets 200 extra attack points during each of the battle phases, and it was just like, oh, okay, I'm just going to keep getting stronger and stronger. Can't be destroyed by, like, any card effects at all, so that's pretty fucking powerful, like, already. And it's like, even throughout all of this, it was like, oh, this is the last one of the day. I was like, okay, I was expecting to see what else is going to happen, and to be fair, like, until we got to the Jack Atlas part, where he started coming to, like, the story and started talking about it, it was a really average episode. It was just Yuya, like, talking about, you know, the whole thing about, you know, how he feels about the Friendship Cup again, and that, like, you know, this is wrong. We saw, like, you know, like, everyone else was just, like, complaining. Like, the duel, like, as well, which I'll say is probably the most weakest part of the episode. It's like, it was pretty fucking just underwhelming. It's like, oh, I'm going to use this equip card that's, like, basically, like, in the end phase of the turn I equipped it with, like, you get dealt 2500, and Serena just fucking bodied this person. Like, it was just like, it was literally just a joke. And then when we get to see, like, with everyone else, like, well, like, when they go, we got Reggie there, he was, like, just talking to, like, the people saying, oh yeah, we had 2 wins, 2 losses, even though one of them was 4, so technically it's 3-1, even though these guys should have fucking caught on that little glimpse at what he had in his hand he could have used to avoid that. And the rest of it was just like, when we got to see, because Jack Atlas was actually invited to the event as well, so he was talking with, like, all the people like Reggie and all them, we saw that he actually compares himself a lot to Rayra, like, saying, like, we both seem to have, like, the same look of our eyes back when I was a kid, and, like, I was inspired by a card that, like, fell down on the ground one day, and obviously I was expecting it to be, like, the Red Dragon Arch-themed card that he got, like, the scarred one, I forget what it's called. And it turns out it was this really, like, weak monster that he got, and I don't think that was the card that he was ended up giving to that other guy, that little kid, but it was like, I'd be kind of curious to see, like, what he's going to do, because the whole point of this thing was, like, I want to return this and give back to, like, this city that gave me, that inspired me to reach to the top and get here. And it was kind of interesting how, like, Rayra was kind of dealing with that, kind of dealing with the inspiration, and, like, Jack was saying, you know, I'm really inspired by that, and I hope you know, become a good duelist, and I really look forward to you. And he was even saying, yeah, fucking Yuzu had a really good duel out there. Like, the thing is, like, Jack doesn't sound that much of a dick. It's just that, like, anything he pretty much says to a duelist, like, when he's dueling someone, he's a dick. When he's not dueling someone, he's an okay, but can be slightly dickish. Like, and then we get to see with the whole security thing, they got that one guy out there who's fucking hinged to look like a cyborg, got all the tattoos over his face. Like, and he's going to be dueling someone, and also as well that we know that one of the police guys are going to fight Yuya next episode, which, funny enough, that he actually got in his card. It's like, oh yeah, if you win against Yuya, even though you lost to Yugo, then you're gonna get your job back. And also as well, we slipped in this rare card view, which seems to be a fucking ritual monster from what I saw, because I was thinking, like, no way would they have made, like, a fusion monster this fast. And I was thinking, like, it kind of like how the Dark Line, I'm pretty goddamn sure that was a actual ritual monster, so I am kind of curious to see of, like, what exactly is going to happen with that card. Like, I think that's a kind of interesting thing to see. Like, I mean, if you guys have been keeping up at all with, like, what exactly is going to be happening with, like, the TCG, with, like, you know, new Odd Eyes cards and everything, and we did get to see, like, a new, seems like a new Odd Eyes in there, which I think that's the Saber Eyes one? I'm not particularly too sure. I know there's Gravity Dragon, I know there's Phantom Dragon, which I'll get into more with the Arc the Manga. Like, there's a bunch of other Odd Eyes coming out, and I'm really looking forward to see what else we can do with these cards. But it's a really interesting card, and I'm really looking forward to see what more they can do with these cards. And I'm really looking forward to, like, once you actually, you know, pulls off his own, like, Odd Eyes, like, rituals, like, you know, more fusions, synchros, more XEs, you know, I really look forward to seeing all that. But it was I'd like to say, like, oh, it doesn't really defend, like, even though it was a lot interesting part at the end of the episode, it really don't defend, like, most of this episode was very not too much, and ending the first day and like kind of getting everyone's opinion on it, and it was just like what we expected really. So honestly, apart from like the Jack bit was the most interesting part, I'd honestly give this episode a 5.5 to like a near 6. Like it was a fine episode, but there really wasn't nothing to like rant home about. I mean, which is a kind of shame. I was expecting something more from like, you know, big old episode 70, but you know, we can't always get them good ones. But it looked nice. Like the animation looked really nice in this episode, so that's one thing to take part of it. But it kind of felt like almost like an episode that you could skip. Like, so I'm looking forward to more next week's episode of Arc V, but that's all for me though. So thank you very much for watching as always, and I'll see you guys next time.